The storms came first. Red, choking dust storms that lasted weeks, then months, until the sky itself disappeared. Humanity's great cities, those glittering towers of steel and hope, were the first to fall. Not to war, not to famine, but to their own dying world. When the collapse finally came, only one place remained. A settlement carved into the bones of an ancient canyon, hidden beneath layers of rock and shielded by a protective dome of flickering blue light. A place where a few thousand survivors lived with a single belief: humanity must not end here. Elias Varon walked along the outer walkway of the dome, his hand brushing the reinforced glass. The desert beyond was dead. Cracked earth, skeletal trees, and a sky stained rust red by the atmosphere's decay. But inside the colony, lights glowed softly, and the faint heartbeat of generators pulsed through the metal floors like steady breathing. Elias wasn't a soldier. Not anymore. He was an engineer, one of the last who understood the old world's machines. And it was his job to keep the dome alive. Because if the dome failed, so did humanity. At the control center, Commander Rhea Solari waited for him. She was tall, severe, always wearing her uniform like it was armor. Elias respected her. Everyone did. She held the colony together with sheer will. "Report," Rhea said. "Energy levels are dropping faster than expected," Elias replied. "We've lost 2 more solar towers. The storms have started melting the upper coils. Heat's too extreme." "How long?" she asked quietly. Elias hesitated. 3 months. Maybe 4. Rhea closed her eyes. "We need more time. Evacuation isn't ready." Evacuation. The word tasted bitter. For years, scientists had been constructing a starship beneath the colony, a vessel meant to carry the last of humanity to a new world orbiting a distant star. But the ship was incomplete. Energy cores missing, navigation unfinished, hull plating still raw. "Commander," Elias swallowed. "We can't build a future if we're dead in the present. We need another source of power. Something stronger. Something we're not using." Rhea's eyes sharpened. "Say what you're thinking." Elias took a breath. "The core of Titan 14. Her jaw tightened. "That's forbidden. And dangerous." Titan 14 was a ruined mining station buried deep under the planet's surface, abandoned decades ago after a catastrophic meltdown. It was said to house a quantum reactor, unstable enough to tear the Earth open, but powerful enough to keep the dome alive and fuel the starship. "If we don't try," Elias said, "the colony dies anyway." Silence pressed between them. Finally, Rhea nodded. "Assemble a team. You leave at dawn." The journey downward was like descending into the planet's memories. Elias, Rhea, and 6 other explorers rode a rusted elevator down an ancient shaft. Walls dripped with mineral dust. Old lights flickered like dying fireflies. The colony grew smaller above them until it became nothing more than a distant pulse of blue light. When they reached Titan 14, the air smelled like burnt metal and old ghosts. "Stay sharp," Rhea ordered. The mining station was a labyrinth of collapsed tunnels and dead machines. Their flashlights cut thin slices of light through the dark. Then they found it, a massive chamber, half collapsed, with a circular machine buried in the center. The quantum reactor, still glowing faint blue, alive. "It's functioning," Elias whispered, stunned. "Can you extract it?" Rhea asked. "Yes, but it's unstable. If we disturb the matrix, it might." A tremor cut him off. The ground shuddered violently. Sirens long dead suddenly crackled to life, screaming warnings in languages no one remembered. "Seismic shift," someone yelled. "The mine is collapsing," Rhea barked. The roof split open. Dust fell like rain. Elias made a split-second decision: either die empty-handed or take the chance. He sprinted to the reactor. "Elias!" Rhea shouted. "Get back. No time." He slammed his hands into the control sockets. The console flickered, ancient circuits waking. Data streamed past his eyes. He bypassed safety locks, disabled containment alarms, and triggered manual extraction. The reactor disengaged with a shriek of metal. The tremor worsened. A support beam snapped. Something slammed into Elias's back, and darkness swallowed him. He woke to Rhea dragging him through a collapsing tunnel. Dust choked the air. The sounds of tearing earth thundered overhead. "The reactor, where?" "Strapped to your chest," Rhea said through gritted teeth. "You idiot. You actually did it." He gave her a weak smile. They reached the elevator just as the entire chamber behind them imploded. The doors slammed shut. The lift rattled upward. But halfway up, the power died. The elevator froze. Elias and Rhea stared at each other. The others looked terrified. "We're trapped," someone said. "No," Elias said. "We climb." It took hours. Metal rungs cut into their hands. The shaft was cold. Every breath burned. Twice, chunks of debris fell and nearly crushed them. But humanity had survived worse. And so they climbed. At last, they reached the surface hatch. Rhea kicked it open with the last of her strength. They crawled out into the canyon, collapsing under the familiar glow of the dome. They were home. The colony crowded around as Elias connected the reactor to the dome's energy grid. The moment he activated it, blue light surged upward, expanding, stabilizing, brightening. The dome pulsed like a second sun. For the first time in years, people cheered. Rhea placed a hand on Elias's shoulder. "You bought us time. Months, maybe even years. Enough to finish the starship." Elias looked at the glowing colony around him, children laughing, elders weeping, families embracing, as hope returned to their faces. "Humanity isn't done yet," he whispered. Months later, the day finally came. The starship, ArkHorizon, stood towering inside the canyon, its silver hull gleaming under the dome's artificial lights. Loaded with supplies, memories, and dreams. The last human colony, once dying, now stood ready to leave its broken world behind. As the engines roared to life, Elias stood beside Rhea on the command deck. "Ready," she said. He looked at the people strapped into their seats, at the glowing walls, at the dome that had protected them all their lives. "Ready." The colony cheered as the ship rose, dust swirling beneath it. The last human colony lifted into the sky, leaving behind death, carrying hope into the stars. Humanity's story was not ending. It was just beginning again.